What up guys, it's your boy Shanus. It is a beautiful Wednesday morning. I had a weekday off, so I'm actually gonna get started on that blow-off valve install. Alright, your boy's got his towel because he gets really hot and bothered, but there's two ways you can go about this. One is to completely remove the front bumper. You don't have to do that, especially if you have smaller hands. I have larger hands, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit more work to get this done. So without removing the whole bumper, however, this is what you're gonna need to focus on. The easiest way is you're gonna remove 4 bolts. In my case, I did the dress-up kit, so I'm gonna need Allen keys, but it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then just these little clips, one on each side. And after that, almost like you're gonna remove the bumper, you're gonna have to go down here, but there's a bolt that's right here that you're going to need to remove so you can pop out the bumper. Essentially by doing that, it should allow you, along with these removed, to remove the top shroud a bit to get in there. Again, if you have really small hands, you might only need to do this top part and not the bumper part. But again, it just depends on how burly and big your hands are. So I'm gonna remove these and start seeing what I can do. So the blow-off valve that we're installing today is the Go Fast Bits DVX for the Veloster Turbo. And let me just say, you truly get what you paid for. In case you haven't seen the packaging in which my Turbo XS blow-off valve came in, yeah, there you go. You just saw it real quick. It obviously wasn't, again, whatever. I could be nitpicky about boxes, but A+ on presentation. Part number is the T9661. It's a bright day, like I said, bright and windy. But I'm gonna basically open this up so you guys can see. But dude, this thing's pretty neat. So once you pulled it out, you have this with a QR code, and it's really nicely packed in there. I'm gonna push it out. Comes with your instructions, as you can see, the part number once more, T9661, and nice protected blow-off valve. And as you can see, there's bolts on each side. So one cool thing is that you don't have to reuse these stock bolts in this one. And again, this is for multiple applications, so you have short ones like so, and once flipped around, you have nice extended bolts, which is what we're going to end up using for the install on the Veloster. But let me take out the valve so you guys can see how beautiful this thing is. So there's the packaging, the hose that comes included, nice quality. But here it is. It's tiny. It's just gorgeous. Really sturdy vacuum line, and that's good because if you guys have a Turbo XS or ever seen one, their vacuum line's a little flimsy. In the front, business with the tensioning screw for the spring, which essentially allows you to make adjustments if you feel like the spring itself is a little too loosey-goosey. And finally, the main reason that motivated me to get this is this little lever right here, which, as you can see right now, is set to recirculate. So this would become essentially a bypass valve. And for those of you in California who need to smog and don't want to make it obvious that you have a blow-off valve, you have it shut like that, and then obviously you turn this. And I love this because there is a little bit of tension. I do definitely have to put a little bit of strength, so it's not easy or flimsy. You have it wide open, or you can adjust the openness if you want to kind of have it not too loud. But this right here would essentially be how you would have it set up for full atmospheric vent, aka a blow-off valve. So let's get straight into the install. Alright, so this is the beauty that we're going to install. There's a few things to note that are in the instructions, but one, you want to make sure that there's 2 O-rings underneath, one right here where my thumb's at, and one right there on the inside. As you can see, there's O-rings. Before installing, you want to make sure that those are there. Next, when you install this, you want it to be facing like so, with the hose pointing towards the front of the vehicle. And then afterward, which we'll go into it, you can adjust if you want to do recirculate, or if you want to do full blow off, or 50-50. Lastly, this right here is an adjustment screw. When it's sitting flush, it's essentially already preset to the optimal spring rate. You can tighten it inward to make the spring a little more stiff. So I don't think I'm gonna mess with that. I mean, fortunately it comes preset. So I'm gonna install this now, and then we'll figure out the hose situation, because GFB does recommend replacing the stock hose with this one, but again, it's kind of hard for me. I got fat hands, so let's see. This bottom plate will also try to come off. Don't remove it, guys. You can tell because it's got that fat hose to it. The blow-off valve goes on top of that. All right, so surprise, it's installed. I have it set to recirculate right now. I'm gonna test it out. As you can tell, I was a little lazy and didn't redirect the hose to the max solenoid just because it's really hard for me to get there. But again, if I have to, I will. So I'm just gonna show you. It is on there, nice and put. And the Go Fast Bits blow-off valve also provides extended bolts along with short ones because of different applications. So that's a nice touch. Didn't have to worry about that. So it's installed now. Now time to put everything back together and test drive. All right, so I test drove it, and I'm gonna go really in depth with it. Right now I test drove it with the recirculating portion on, so it refeeds air back in. And obviously I'm gonna make a video about which one's better for those of you guys that are really interested in the difference of having it blow off as opposed to recirculation. However, again, if you noticed, I obviously didn't go to the original max solenoid. I used a vacuum coupler. So take it from me, you could do it one of two ways. You could do it the right way, which I know I technically did not, but nothing, no foul, no damage done. This is how I did it. So time to put these back on. I am going to set it up to atmospheric vent to blow off because I also need to test that out and see how that sounds and give you guys a sound clip of that. So let's get into that. So into second, I'm just... That was from second. I just did 2 pulls, full sweep, all the way to basically red line, right before it, obviously shifting. And the car just handled it amazingly well. There was no cutout, which leads me to believe that maybe even the previous blow-off valve had a slightly weak spring rate to the point where I was losing boost at top end and I couldn't do a pull of that nature. So I'm doing a U-turn this time, windows up. Hopefully you were able to hear the blow-off valve in those pulls and not too much of the wind noise. But in this one, I'll try to do a pull from first gear and all the way through third, just so you guys can hear what the blow-off valve sounds like on the inside with all the muffling and whatnot. Doing a slow U-turn, still in first, 3,000. So you guys can hear that the boost and the actual power band is just continuously going up. There's no cutout. There's no, even with traction control on, so that was with traction control. I didn't have that aggressive cut in. You could feel it very lightly, but this blow-off valve clearly holds boost so much better than the last one. And I hate to say it, guys, I mean, that last blow-off valve was amazing for what it was for the price. It is obviously a step above stock, but at the end of the day, you honestly get what you pay for. This blow-off valve has not only definitely increased my driving experience on this car. This car drives completely different now. It's like a night and day experience, but at the same added benefit, I've also, funny enough, increased my fuel mileage. And that's in blow-off valve mode. I haven't had a chance to thoroughly review it in bypass, which I will be doing the next few weeks and giving you guys an update video for those of you guys interested in that mode. I didn't want to make you guys wait for this video and at the same time do such a long video. So yeah, that's my 2 cents for it for now. If you're interested in bypass mode, I will give an update video for that in the next few weeks.